So we're building more volume for the lower body. At the moment, on day 11, I feel a little bit like I'm about to either get run over by the bus or I'm going to jump on the bus and keep moving ahead. I'm not sure exactly which it is. I am a little bit close to the cliff edge, the knife's edge, because I'm coming back from such a low training volume. It's been really 2 years since I put together consistent sessions for a couple of months. It's probably a year and a half since I was at a good level with some of my lifts, but that was a bit of a burst of maybe 2 months of good training. So it takes some time for the body to recover and to get used to training again. I've been working consistently each day, and I'm okay with feeling the way I feel at the moment. It is a bit of a lie as well. John Bros will say the body lies, how you feel is a lie. I love the thing he was talking about, that the part of your body that hurts moves around each day. That's how you know that it's a lie. And it's been a little bit like that through these first 11 days. Nothing has really hurt too much, but there has been a little bit here and there. I hope this doesn't hang around. I hope that doesn't hang around. And nothing has hung around yet. So I did the step-ups with 40 kilos, and then I went into just body weight and working up onto the ball of the foot. So more work, more emphasis on the foot and the calf with this style. You can't really see it too well because it's sort of a little bit dark, black shoes on black step. But what I love is that I can feel my body adapting. I think I was weighing like 81, high 81s, low 82s when I started this block, and now I've been weighing 84 kilos, mid 84s, so somewhere around like 2 kilos of extra mass. Now, some of that at this stage is inflammation, maybe some of it's fat. I've been eating carnivore diet, so generally I don't put on a lot of fat. I feel actually a little bit leaner than when I started. And that's the fun of this, is allowing the body to adapt, asking the body to adapt, demanding that the body adapts. They're all on the same continuum where it's hard to be sure exactly what you're doing. I feel as though I'm being fairly conservative. If you look at this session, you say, well, we did hills first before this, so we say hills. We did backwards and forwards for speed. It's quite a long hill. Then step-ups, then these split squats, really just for range. All I'm looking for these is not to annoy my adductors or pubic symphysis. I could feel that I did aggravate that area of fraction with either this session or the evening mobility work, but it was very little, and so the game continues, and that's the key. If the game continues, then that's all we need to really be worried about. I'm a big fan of the overhead version of this because it stretches the whole sort of fascial line through the quad, hip flexor, abs, psoas. Staying upright, vertical, helps to get the most out of it in terms of mobility. But yeah, there's nothing heavy in this session, and still my legs are sore. I've been working them each session. I've been doing some squats, and the 2 days before this one, we had the 110 kilo bunch of singles in the morning and then 120 kilos in the evening, and those lifts are fairly maximal for me at the moment. So the game continues, and that's the main thing. Either get on the bus or get hit by the bus. I'm going to stay on the bus. That's the plan. And pain will tend to move around the body. I will tell you that I felt great for opening up the body in the evening session. I was listening to Jersey on the Tim Ferriss podcast, the Polish masters weightlifter. I really enjoy his message and his approach to weightlifting. It's a very philosophical approach that's based around taking your time to build the positions and then through mobility work, and then doing like 40 sets of one on the minute to build up the lifts. And so I'm a big fan of that style of approach. I'm generally like more of a 10 or a 20 sets of one kind of guy, but you have to actually dominate a weight to be able to do 40 sets of one and stay nice and calm if you're going to come back to it a few days later. So this was on a 20 kilo plate. So with a 20 kilo plate, that's a super high heel lift, which means you really put more and more emphasis on the quads. The knees are further forward, and so the quads are working harder. And then I took them into overhead. So while the weight wasn't significant, because I already had a significant amount of soreness in the legs, and I really just wanted to feel the positions and start to get comfortable with going overhead for reps. And Anthony was working on it as well. He's got a swimming background and he's quite mobile in the shoulders, and he's getting into this stuff a lot easier than I did. When I first tried these sorts of movements, it was a long time before I could start to do these sorts of movements. I would say I've stiffened up a little bit since, definitely with my best sort of mobility. I'm not there at the moment with thoracic mobility, shoulder mobility, so working on that. It's coming back. Part of it is doing these movements, and then part of it's things like the cross bench pullover. So it's just really nice to be in the game with these and knowing, I can handle a lot more than this. Teaching my body that it's okay, and getting comfortable for when I'm going to be receiving weight faster and receiving more weight. It's one of the best tests that you can do for overall mobility is the overhead squat. Your heels elevated is a little bit of a cheat or a hack that will tell you even more about the quads, about the knees, and that's kind of the emphasis. It takes a little bit of load off the lower back because I'm not struggling quite so much to keep the bar overhead. You can imagine the further the body wants to lean forward, the harder the lower back is working to straighten things up. So top weight on these was 40 kilos, and it was just simply about feeling positions, getting comfortable. Let's have a look at these. So it stayed fairly comfortable. Didn't feel like there was a lot of pop in the legs, but the key for right now is getting the body used to the upright position, building the fundamentals for the snatch. I'm not a huge fan of the overhead squat, but it was necessary today. It was a good way to get some squatting done without getting too carried away with weight. So I helped Anthony here just making sure that the bar was going to stay in the groove for him, and me taking like 1 or 2 kilos off just at the point where he was having a bit of a challenge, and then the last one he did by himself. So that just shows like it's a lot about the nervous system just accepting and learning the positions. It's not necessarily that the strength isn't there or even that the mobility isn't there, but it's just new, and it needs time, it needs drilling. So we went then into hamstring and lower back work, a few different sets here. Using the dumbbells just adds a fraction more weight to it, and I guess it's sort of doubling up a little bit of posterior delt work as well, at the same time as working the hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. So the goal with these was to get some duration, get some time under tension, and these are building the foundations for a healthy lower back, but also to be explosive out of the bottom of the Nordic, or to be explosive in top speed running, and to be able to handle a lot of tension in the hamstring. So the single leg holds, I'm not super comfortable with this setup. I'm not super comfortable having the barbell on one sort of lower calf, one Achilles, and the bar is, the bench is not perfect for these either, but we're getting some work, and I could feel my hamstrings coming back online. If you've been into the work of Franz Bosch, he's a athletic development specialist. He started with a focus on high jump and skill development is really what he's known for. And then he's gone to work quite a bit in rugby, and he's a big fan of the isometric hold at the bottom of the Nordic back extension with weight and such. You could see I was just spotting myself through that first part of the Nordic, so just making it more comfortable to get out of the bottom. It's not going to happen so slow, but going slow before going fast makes sense. And then after everything was kind of nice and warm and things were going okay, I reintroduced my body to lifting weight up off the floor, otherwise known as the deadlift. But this is also going to be part of the snatch journey. If I had a wider grip, then I'd be using a little bit more quads and a little bit more lower back. But yeah, 90 kilos is very, very light for deadlifting overhand. But that's the stage that I'm at the moment. That's the position that I'm at. The goal today was to deadlift, to activate the abs, to feel the weight, and to be ready to do this again sometime soon. And that's what happened. So that was a win, and I feel like I'm on the bus. I'll do these at 100 kilos next time, and then I'll do them at 110. And before you know it, we might be lifting something significant.